At T-Mobile, our critical mission is providing unparalleled 5G coverage for when connectivity is mission critical. Introducing T-Priority, America's best 5G network experience for first responders, even in times of congestion. More capacity, faster speeds, better coverage. T-Priority from T-Mobile, built for tomorrow's emergencies, ready today. Discover more at t-priority.com.
For qualifying organizations on eligible rate plans, coverage not available in some areas and may be impacted by emergencies.
Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast is now on YouTube. Go on YouTube and search Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast and click that subscribe button to never miss an episode. Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. I am one of your hosts this week, good old Wrestling Chris G, and on the other line with me is the one that you can't wake up when he's sleeping. It's good old Dougie Fresh. Dougie, man, how you doing?
No, if I take enough of them pills, boy, I'm out.
How you doing today, man?
A little tired.
A little tired. Same here. This
second half of the recording, you know.
That's normally what happens. We just finished going over a banned episode, and now we're going and hopping over into the other field of black and white, Dougie.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is the first time we've done that. A Kanto and a black and white in the same, and a Unova in the same night.
Which, thank God for this Unova, because if we were doing this plus No Way Out, I would have been really drained by the end of this. So, thank goodness that we actually have a decent episode that we're going over right now. So, all right. But today's episode is episode 8 of season 14. Episode 667. There you go. Saving Darmanitan from the Bell, or translated from Japanese, Darumaka and Hihidaruma, Secret of the Clock Tower.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's a long... that is a long name for that episode. So... But yeah, we're here, bro. So this episode ended up premiering November 10th, November 4th, 2010. And here in the States, March 26th, 2011. And I believe, Doug, you kind of hyped it up for everybody. Both of ours are in 2018, but I'm going to have you go first because you kind of... in Solo Words got cheated on the first recording and it was by mistake.
This isn't going to make any sense to them because we don't know when the 2 episodes we recorded are dropping in relation to each other.
I know. So if you guys heard the episode Holiday Hijinks, you will know what we're referencing because that's what we just finished recording. But we mixed up the dates on that recording, so I ended up going first when Doug should have gone first in that episode. So, Doug, you're going to go first this week.
So, on this date, March 26th, in the year of our Lord 2018, porn star Stormy Daniels appears on 60 Minutes and claims that she had an affair with Donald Trump. And was later threatened to keep it quiet. Now, that in and of itself should be enough.
But you have details.
However, I've got a few details that I'd like to pass along to the rest of the class.
All right, it's story time with Dougie Fresh.
Apparently, old 45 had a small winky.
Oh.
was a 2-pump chump
Oh.
and liked to be smacked on the butt with a magazine.
Well, to each his own. Well, this is according to the porn star, right?
It's coming straight from her.
Yeah, coming straight from her. So I don't know if she has any ill will or anything against him, but that is coming from the source, and to each his own, because whatever people like to do in their bedroom is on them. It's nothing nobody can judge because everybody likes to do different things. But that is pretty funny that she came out and told people that information.
And then, it would later come out that people were getting a hold of like some images of the checks that were written, and like people ran with this for a while.
Really?
They said, "Can we find it?" And they found a couple of the checks, and they found a couple alleged payments that were going to her, and yeah, this was a thing for a while.
How much do you? And you might not know, but how much did she get paid?
Not off the top of my head, I don't know that. No.
Oh, I was about to say, did she become a millionaire off of that?
Well, she was probably pretty comfortable anyway, because she is, I should say, was a name in the industry in like the turn of the 2000s.
Gotcha. Okay. So, all right. Well, that's some news that I wasn't expecting to hear. And you'll hear almost anything here on the Pokemon podcast, officially coming from Playboy to porn stars.
Yeah, and I would like to state for the record that you opened this door.
You don't throw me under. You had yours before I had mine.
Yeah, but you said yours first.
I did. So, all right. So, with that being said, mine is going on a completely different path. And on this day in 2018 as well, the movie The Black Panther at the time had become the highest grossing superhero film in America, earning $630.9 million. Holy moly. I mean, it's not anywhere close to what we have right now, but holy moly, that was a thing.
So, as of this recording, and as of, let's see, when was this page last updated? Where do you see that on Wikipedia? This was last updated today at whatever the fuck. Possibly minutes ago. I'm no good with the 24-hour clock.
All right.
Black Panther is now 5th all-time in superhero movies.
Oh, and as of our last recording, it was, I believe it was at 4, wasn't it? So yeah,
I had said 4, so I don't know. Well, yeah, no, it was 4 when I looked. So so the game now is, can you name the 4 films ahead of it?
I would guess it would be Avengers Endgame is probably the number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Infinity Wars is probably number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck on number 3. What number?
You get 3 strikes throughout the entire. You got 3 strikes and you got 2 to name.
Okay. So what is Spider-Man number 3? No. Okay. I'm trying to think. So none of the Spider-Man films. Okay. Dun, 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 dun.
I feel like, and if you're thinking about this, and I might remind you later, I feel like during this part, I feel like you should put quiz show music. No, that's copyrighted. Just generic.
Oh.
Just generic.
Let's see. I'm trying to.
Got 2 strikes. He's got.
I got two more movies to go, and it has to be superheroes, right?
He's gonna kick himself.
I'm gonna kick myself. Let's see.
Got the first 2. Avengers Endgame is number 1. Avengers Infinity War is number 2.
Could number 3 be another Avengers? I'm gonna guess Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron is number 4.
Oh, okay, number 4. You know what? I'm just gonna say fuck it. Would it be the original Avengers movie?
The original Avengers movie is number 3.
Okay, there we go. All right. And
just for shits and giggles, take a stab at number 6.
At number,
you'll never get it.
Number 6. Is it is it Marvel?
It is not. You'll never get it.
I don't know. You have to tell me.
Incredibles 2.
Get the fuck out of here. Really?
Yeah.
All right. So Incredibles 2 beat out Frozen?
You're talking superhero.
Oh, superheroes. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was about to say, I would think Frozen went way further than the Incredibles, but yeah, superhero wise, yeah. Okay.
So this only does
wait a minute.
This list only has
the Incredibles beat Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah, Thor Ragnarok was,
because I remember that movie being huge.
Because I mean, what the fuck? I have the thing out. Thor Ragnarok is not on this list.
Wow.
That can't be right.
Wow.
Because I'll tell you for free, the original Thor is number 50.
Oh, so that's not even up there. Okay. I'm gonna look this up myself. So we have Incredibles 2.
Oh no, Thor Ragnarok is 20. I'm sorry.
Okay. So I'll go down this list and then we can go ahead and get on into the episode. So we have Incredibles 2 at 6, then we have Iron Man 3, Civil War, Captain America movie, Aquaman, Spider-Man Far From Home is number 10, Captain Marvel, The Dark Knight Rises, Joker, the original Dark Knight, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man Homecoming. Wait a minute, Spider-Man Homecoming is under Spider-Man 3? What the fuck? Okay.
Well, Spider-Man 3, you're talking the emo Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. So, and then we have Batman vs. Superman, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Venom, which I am getting my tickets ready to go see that IMAX this upcoming week.
I am going to watch the first one on Saturday because I have still yet to see it, and I want to.
Oh, yeah, you got to refresh your mind, man.
Refresh? I haven't seen
it. And then we have Thor Ragnarok, and then I'm not going to go any further down. But those are the top 20 movies, everybody, in superhero movies as of right now. Holy shit. Endgame did $2.7 billion. My Jesus.
Yeah.
No wonder they don't want to do any more movies. They're sitting comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. Well, let's go ahead, Doug, and get on into this week's episode. Are you ready, my man?
I am ready. I'm on Pokemon.com where we have subtitles and everything is right in the world.
Yes, everything is right in the world, and we don't have a banned episode where we got to find something and we have it playing in the background and we got to record it a different way. So, all right. So this week, everybody, nice blue sky, nice scenery, and we start this episode with with um, with Iris and Ash sitting at a picnic table, getting ready to eat, and Iris brings over some type of, it looks like berries on a stick, and
like a kebab kind of.
yeah, like a berry kebab. So uh I keep butchering his name. It's Cyrus, right? Silent. My bad. But Silent turns around. He's like, I wouldn't call that cooking. I have cooking over here. And she's like, whatever. It's yummy and it's fine. And Ash is like, I want one too.
Yeah, we promise you didn't flip on last week's episode because this is how last week started as well. Ash was sitting at a table hungry.
Yes.
For goodness sakes.
So, and as Ash is going to grab these berries or whatever, kebabs on a stick, Silent takes it away from the table as Ash is about to grab it. And he's like, there's no time for this. Dinner will be ready pretty soon. And they look over at the grill that Silent is making some really delicious food. And the Pikachu and Axew is looking up as well, and he's like, don't worry, I didn't forget you guys either. And
a couple of bowls of Pokemon kibble.
Yep. So Doug, you want to go on this next part? Because this is where Darumaka comes in.
So Silent is getting his cooking ready, and
Darumaka.
What does he call it? Because he names the dish. It pisses me off.
He said, let's see. He calls this dish
Pila.
Yes, Pila.
Vegetable Pila. So he's getting that ready, and then we see. You just said the name of the Pokemon. Darumaka. And he's barely in frame, but he walks past Silent, and Ash and Iris see him, and Darumaka's standing there. He's being cute, and then we get the title screen, which still not a fan of quite yet. Still not used to it not being at the start of the episode. So we get the title, we get Saming Darumaka from the bell, and then we're back and we're having a stare down with Darumaka, and we find out that
Darumaka,
him too, and we find out that he is classified as a Zen Charm Pokemon, and when he's asleep, he cannot be pushed or pulled over.
Which I had flashes in my head of being a Pokemon trainer, of seeing a Darumaka sleeping and wanting to go over and just push him.
Well, wouldn't you just catch it? I mean, unless it's aware of its surroundings, which it probably is.
It probably is aware of its surroundings, but when it sleeps, it turns into like an egg-like shape and cannot be pushed over.
And I'll tell you one thing for free. I've pushed over a lot of eggs. So you can't sit there and tell me, well, you can't push over an egg. That's bullshit. So Iris is an idiot because she goes over to Darumaka and says, oh, it's cute. It's cute. It starts kind of pinching it and pulling it, and freaking Darumaka takes a step back and just flamethrower right in the face.
Because she has this thing about freaking going over to Pokemon and just pulling their face. Like, she needs to stop that.
She's for her own good, yes.
Yes. Like, and it's points like this that I kind of get mad that Ash doesn't look over at Iris and just go, such a kid. Anytime she gets like blasted in the face or anything, like just give her a taste of her medicine just once, Ash. Come on.
I mean, if he was looking for an opportunity, this was it.
But Silent points out that just like you were saying, Doug, that even though Darumaka is sleeping, it's aware of its surroundings and stays very focused and never gives up.
And getting past that. And then so we've kind of got the point of view from behind Axu and Pikachu, and we see a bowl of Pokemon food get snatched right from the table.
By a Darumaka. Like, you can tell that this.
Well, I suppose, yeah. And then we find out by context that specific bowl of food that was gone was Pikachu's bowl. And Pikachu is immediately upset and accuses Axu
of eating its food, and freaking Axu's like, no, Pikachu ate his food.
And then Iris is sitting there saying, Axu says he didn't take it.
And then they look over at Darumaka, and Darumaka is still sleeping.
He has become asleep.
Yes.
In the time of the original thievery. And so of course, what do they go over and do? Friggin' Ash goes over and pokes it. And of course he doesn't move. Well, he moves, but he doesn't, weevils wobble, but they don't fall down. As they're mesmerized, English is hard, by the sleeping Darumaka, the other bowl of food is plucked from the table, but this time Pikachu sees it. But Axu sees that Pikachu sees it and immediately accuses Pikachu of stealing its food.
So now Pikachu has eaten both foods in Axu's head. It's like, you MFer, you ate your food and then accused me and then went and ate my food? Come on.
You MFer.
So freaking and Pikachu's like, no, this time I saw it and that it was Darumaka. And they look over at Darumaka, and Darumaka has been asleep the whole time.
So after they pull the Pokemon apart from their little Jerry Springer type scuffle, they're talking, and Ash is trying to wake him up, and he's just swaying in the breeze. But then we finally look over and we see the second Darumaka has both plates of food, and then as soon as everybody turns their back to chase after the one with the food, the sleeping Darumaka wakes up and jumps ahead of them and
does like a flamethrower attack to make a barrier between the other Darumaka and Ash and the gang, so that they can make their getaway. And
then Ash says, "Well, that's it," and he calls out Oshawott.
So then we get so remember last week, Doug, when I said Oshawott is getting the short end of the stick in these episodes, I got Charmander vibes.
You're not wrong. But I'm not getting bullshit vibes. I'm getting more of like Bulbasaur, like utility knife kind of thing.
Okay. But but as you were saying, so Oshawott is now out, Doug.
And then we get a needless pop in of Silence saying, "This is smart of Ash, using a water type to counteract a fire type." It's like, we fucking get it. Like this is the 14th season. We know what we're doing.
And it's at this point, it kind of makes me mad because, I mean, you can see how low of a level Ashwat is and how high of a level these Darumakas are because freaking Ashwat tries to use water gun on the Darumaka and it completely evaporates with the flamethrower of the Darumaka, and the Darumaka does its flamethrower move again and completely fries Ashwat.
Absolutely. Just obliterates it.
Like,
and Ashwat is just out. I mean, we're talking spiral eyes and everything.
yeah, just scuffs all over its body. It's burned. It's just it's done. And it's at this point now where honestly, I don't think Ashwat would have a fighting chance if there wasn't a Pokemon Center nearby. Because he got fried.
He got fried. And so, like you said, they immediately go into the Pokemon Center, and we see Ashwat is laying on a little cot, and the Nurse Joy has a yellow check,
Yes.
cross, and please take care of my Ashwat. It's like, no, what do you think you are, a Pokemon Center? Like, of course. Like, how many Pokemon Centers have you been in? Even in this series, you've been in like a handful already.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, come on now. And then we go, unless you want to take this part.
Yeah, and then we go out to a cafe where Team Rocket is undercover, and Jessie snaps her fingers for the waiter to come over, and she says, I want a cappuccino and make it rocket fast, which in this sense is a key word for the waiter. And the waiter goes, rocket fast, you say? And then he's like, right away, ma'am. And then puts down a cappuccino that looks like it has a Team Rocket logo meshed into it. And then they go ahead and they stir the cappuccino, and then we kind of fade away from there, and we're back at the Pokemon Center. Doug?
And I didn't want to go back to the Pokemon Center. I wanted to stay with Team Rocket.
I know, because they seem
they're...
For once, we actually want to find out what Team Rocket has up their sleeve.
I mean, I was going to save this line for a little bit later in the episode, but this is some James Bond shit.
Yeah, I know, for real.
So, but we go back to the Pokemon Center and we hear the universal sound for Pokemon Healing Complete.
Bum, bum,
And,
bum, bum, bum.
I mean, anybody that watching this episode and hears that and doesn't get a little bit nostalgic, I don't know what to do with you. And we find out that Ashwat is fine, because of course it is. It was just a little bit of flamethrower. And everybody's happy, and Ashwat's cute, and still trying to figure out why Axu isn't in a Pokeball.
Same reason Pikachu's not.
The full shit. Shenanigans, I say.
So at this point, even in the Pokemon games now, you can have your Pokemon walk around with you. You can have one Pokemon walk around with you outside of its Pokeball. So I guess that's how they're treating it now.
Yeah, that's fair, I suppose.
So Iris brings up the point that the Darumaka is really annoying, and why did it attack them and steal their food? And it's at this point Nurse Joy brings up that the Darumaka have been in the area, and that they have lived there for. Let's see. It says the Darumaka lived in town along with the Darmanitan, and at first they all were like very friendly, and they were with the Pokemon until one day they started stealing food from all the people in the town. And once they started stealing food from the people in the town, they stopped liking these Darumakas that were all in this area, and they started hating them. and nobody knows why they're stealing or anything. Doug?
So, pardon me. Iris immediately goes, well, clearly the Darumaka were stealing the food because they're hungry. And Nurse Joy is kind of like, well, yeah, but they didn't have to go about it like that.
Yeah. And Nurse Joy thinks something must have happened because the Darumaka used to be very friendly around the area, but now they're not.
Right.
And we're about to find out why. But yeah, okay. So all of a sudden we hear something, and Iris looks out the window and she sees a big old clock tower. And Nurse Joy is like, oh, that's the clock tower. It's one of the oldest buildings in this town. So old, in fact, that the clock and bell no longer work. So, Doug?
And because of that, it's going to be taken down soon because what the heck else are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, why do people not like to hold on to anything nostalgia? Like when you have something like that in a town, you preserve it. Especially
but if
something
it's not functioning,
old. It doesn't matter.
Well, sure it does.
It's just something that tourists can come and look at, take pictures.
If I have a watch and it's broke and it's stuck at a time, I'm not going to keep it just because it's aren't twice a day.
People also aren't going to come to town just to look at your watch, Doug.
It's a good watch.
It's the best watch.
I have the best watch. People say it all the time.
So, but yeah, it's at this point that obviously, since Ash wasn't able to eat any of the food from earlier, his stomach starts to growl, and he breaks up this whole story about the clock tower, and now everything's focusing on him. And just the look on Pikachu's face, like Pikachu's like, really, right now, Ash?
That's just what we're doing.
And Ash is like, I'm really hungry, I guess. And Nurse Joy's like, oh my. She's like, because of what the Darumaka did. Iris says, because of what the
Iris
Darumaka
says that.
We haven't eaten lunch yet. So, and Iris is like, I vote we stay here and just eat dinner right away. And we go straight from that to the next scene. Doug?
And they're chowing down in front of a plate and they identify it. Because they say, oh, this is delicious.
Croquettes.
And they're just housing them. And what is he says Silas is kind of looking on in amazement. He's like, you two are kind of alike. And they both snap because, girls and boys are icky at this age and all this stuff.
Don't compare us to each other.
And, Nurse Joy comes out and says, because tonight's a full moon, we have Moonwatch dumplings for dessert. And everybody in the little restaurant area is kind of like, all right, good shit. And Ash goes to help bring the dumplings out, and we open the storage door and we find the two Darumaka are scampering out the window with the food. So Ash summons out Pidove to follow after him.
Yes, and to find out where they're going. So Ash jumps out the window and he's like, I'm going to find out why these two Darumaka are stealing everybody's food. So he jumps out, and Iris and Silent are, I'm sure, not too far behind. Frickin' Pidove is following the Darumaka, and the Darumaka have enough withdrawal to split up at this point. So Pidove is going down the alley and following one of the Pokemon, and Iris is right behind Ash, and then Silent goes the other way to where the other Darumaka is running with the food on its back, and just starts storming down the other side of the alley. And it's a race, and I believe they end up losing track of where the Darumaka is, and the Pidove is too slow to keep catching up to where the Darumaka is. Doug?
Again, another case of potentially poor Pidove being too low of a level.
Yes.
So Iris and Ash kind of hit a bit of a dead end, and Silence kind of in the same boat, and they're kind of sitting there going, I wonder which way they went, and Pidove lands on a light post and points towards the clock tower. And we zoom in and we see them going in the front door.
Yes. And Ash is like, there they are. And they start storming towards this clock tower, which looks like it's about a mile away from where they are. But that's neither here nor there, how they're able to see those little tiny Pokemon going in.
It's a kid show.
I know. And then we get the Who's That Pokemon? It's Darmanitan, the evolved form of Darumaka, who we are going to end up seeing a little later in this episode. So that had to make you happy, Doug, that they kept Who's That Pokemon with the character.
I was a very happy boy.
So, I mean, his name is in the title, Saving Darmanitan from the Bell. So, but at this point, we come back and Team Rocket is standing on top of a bridge. Doug, you want to take it from here?
So, right. We're back to the interesting part of the episode. And we're literally like spies meeting under the freaking cover of darkness. It's foggy, and they're still wearing their trench coats and their sunglasses, and Team Rocket's being all suave and cavalier, and they're standing at one end, and then another figure dressed very similarly comes past them and says, "It's cold, isn't it?" And Jesse says, "Yes, on a night like this, I want a nice warm cappuccino." And they're speaking in tongues, and the woman in the trench coat drops the briefcase she was carrying. And did she say anything else?
And Jessie goes in. She picks up the briefcase and then goes, and this is the mission. And this mission is the key to it all, bringing us one step closer to our goal.
And Meowth has a decent line. He says the new, what does he say? The beginning of Team Rocket's future.
Yes.
And I mean, it's not played to be silly. It's not, wacky, like James doesn't sneeze or anything. It's just, this is some James Bond shit.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because I haven't watched any further than this episode. So I'm really curious as to what Team Rocket has up their sleeve and what they're looking for.
I don't know. You saw those trench coats. They could have anything up there.
I know. But with this being a kid show, there could be a bazooka up there.
There could be a bazooka up there. It's Team Rocket, so it won't work. But
I know.
But yeah, and then we go back to the three of them. And Ash is leading the group up the steps of the clock tower in hot pursuit of the Darmanitan, of the Darumaka.
Darmanitan. That's the best nickname of them so far in this episode.
Well, whatever.
So they do look like little minions. So they start going up the stairs, and Ash was on their tail, and then they go up this little hole in the clock tower, and Ash loses track of them. And Ash is like, I wonder if they kept going up. And we see them right behind Ash, and they're posted up against the wall, just hiding. And then from there, the freaking Darumaka jump off the wall and use flamethrower on Ash. Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you. Allergies are a sumbitch. I'm getting hit with them myself.
I'm allergic to clock towers. But then, because they're using flamethrower in a enclosed old building, they start a fire. So Oshawott has to come out and put the fire out.
Again, I'm getting Charmander vibes.
Pikachu uses Thundershock, which smoke. And then Oshawott uses Water Gun on both of them. Knocks them clean to sleep.
Yes. This is where we find out that they go to sleep to recover their strength,
Right.
Silence says.
And we kind of figure out that the Darumaka were kind of playing possum a little bit to kind of get everybody off their scent. Because as soon as Ash and the crew turn their back, the Darumaka wake back up and jump in front of them.
Yes. So this is where we find out once they jump in front of them, they're trying to get up into this other little hole that they can no longer get up because they burned the ladder that they had to access going to the top.
Right, and you can see that they're pointing to the access point and they look concerned and frightened. And Ash is like, "Oh, we can get you up there real quick." And the Darumaka are proud of themselves. Well, not proud, but they're relieved a little bit. And so we cut, and Ash is on Silent's shoulders, and he's boosting himself up, and he calls out Snivy, and this is where we get the Bulbasaur of it all, because Snivy uses Vine Whip and
wraps Pikachu. I was about to say lifts up everybody to bring them up.
Which I don't know why Pikachu had to go up.
I don't either. But Pikachu went up first, then the two Darumaka got to go up, and then from there we flash forward, and we have everybody up together, and they're running up some stairs, and you can see like a radiation of heat on the floor. So the Darumaka are going upstairs, and up the stairs is a Darmanitan, and the Darmanitan is using its psychic power to basically, we find out is using its psychic power to hold up this bell that has broken off inside of the clock tower, and if it loses its focus, that the bell will fall and then break the entire clock tower.
Yeah, so damn. So you said about everything right there. We also find out that Darmanitan has two modes, standard mode and Zen mode, and it's in Zen mode now to preserve its strength. And
they're basically bringing up the food
to keep up its strength.
Yes. So yeah, and it uses its psychic power to bring the food over into its mouth.
But because it's continuing to use psychic, what is he? Because it's something.
It's straining. It's straining its power
from its flame sac.
Yes,
I didn't care for that at all.
So this Darmanitan, it's using up the last of its power to keep its bell up, and the Darmanitan, the Darumaka bring over a hook, and they need to get the hook up, and it seems like the hook had broken, which is what happened, and the Darumaka or Darmanitan ended up saving the bell, but the bell ended up becoming too heavy, so it started using its psychic power to keep it up.
Correct.
So it's at this point now they have to figure out a way to get the hook back on the bell so it doesn't crush this tower.
But we have to figure out a way to reinforce the hook, because that's the whole point of why because we found out that Darmanitan originally was able to catch the bell when it started to fall and was able to keep the bell up in standard mode.
Yes.
But got to the point where he had to shift into Zen mode, which is where the issue started to come, because it's a bitch of a trade-off. You know, you can use Zen mode and not use much of your energy, but you're also using a lot of your heat reserves. And you can tell that it's weighing on Darumaka because it's kind of frowning, and you can see it's kind of straining a bit.
Yes. And it's about to burn this whole tower down from its fire.
Right.
So it's at this point now where they get the idea to use Passage and to Pig to try to basically heat up this hook, and so that they can basically bend it to get it put back onto the bell. But to Pig is not strong enough to heat up the hook as much as it needs to be heated up in order to bend.
So once again, weak level.
Yes.
So then the two Darumaka agree to combine the efforts with Tepig and what's Silence Pokemon?
Passage.
So they're all kind of using their. Well, Passage is just there to hold it or to throw it up because he's a grass type.
Yeah, he uses his bullet seed to shape the hook back to where it needs to be shaped to once it heats up.
And then Oshawott comes out to cool down the burning metal so it can harden. And then Pikachu comes over and says, "Yeah, that'll do it."
Because Pikachu can't help. So, and then they take the hook and they get the bell put back on it, and they've basically saved the tower.
Well, let's not skate over the fact that Darmanitan basically possesses Pikachu and Ash to take the bell up to the point that it needs to be.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that part. I'm sorry, everybody. Yes, Ash is floating, and at first he can't reach the bell, and it finally takes Ash to kind of stretch his arm to try to get it over there, and
he falls.
Yeah, Darumaka ends up losing its psychic power and ends up holding up the bell itself and just throws the bell up, jumps up like frickin' Tarzan in this place, grabs the bell and hooks it back onto the hook where it needs to be hooked onto.
And he snaps out of Zen mode, obviously, because he's been in Zen mode for whoever knows how long. And then the Darumaka are reunited with the Darmanitan, and Ash says, "Now you stop stealing people's food now." And everybody's all happy, and the bell's hanging up, and we come to the next morning with 2 minutes left in the episode, and everybody seems to be satisfied. We seem to have a nice night's rest of sleep. And then we find out from Nurse Joy, as everybody's leaving the town, we find out that because the bell is back functioning, they're not going to tear the tower down after all.
Yes. So it's from here that we find out that since everything is maintained, Ash and the gang can continue on their journey. And that is how we end up leaving this week's episode. No more Team Rocket.
I was disappointed.
So I guess we'll find out some more information next week as to what's going on with Team Rocket.
I really wanted like a final teaser like we got a couple weeks ago where it was like, they're on the phone with Giovanni or something. or they found out what was in the briefcase or something.
So, what would you give this episode this week on your Doug-O-meter?
It was a solid 3.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I can't give it any further than that because there was no gym battle. There was no, and there's no real progression. I mean, the only thing that progressed was Team Rocket's story.
Yes, and I do like the mystery in Team Rocket's story, and I'm actually pretty intrigued to watch next week's episode. So everybody get ready for next week's episode because I'm sure we're going to figure out some answers to some questions that we have this week. But yeah, I'll go ahead and give it about a 3, maybe a 2.5, because of the progression in the story that there's no real progression outside of the fact that Ash got to go to a new town. But yeah, I'll top it off with a solid 3 this week.
I don't even think he mentioned like where's the gym in this town or where's the next town with a gym or anything.
No, he didn't. So, all right, let's go ahead. Running a little tight on time myself, so I'm going to go ahead and get this Pokemon
pack. Oh, come on. It's only 11:30.
Let's see. And we have a black card, which means that this might be a dud pack. Let's see. We have... What type of energy am I looking at, Doug?
Fire energy.
No, it's a fighting energy.
Bitch.
And then we have a elemental badge, a trainer card, a Herdier, a Spirit Mass trainer, a Phoebus, a Hitmonchan,
Hitmonchan.
Yes, a Hitmonchan, a Slackoth. I know that Pokemon. A Patillo? I can't pronounce that. A Pikachu, a Milotic is my reverse holo, and a Flapple is my rare card. So yes, a dud pack outside of the reverse holo Milotic. I'll take it, even though I already have it. So maybe next week, or maybe this upcoming Friday. I'll have a better pack. So.
Somebody really likes Flapple, and they say, hey, man, fuck you.
I know. So, all right. So, with all that being said, do you have anything else to add for this week, Doug?
No, I would say this is a very successful night of recording. I'm looking forward to, unless something changes, we're kind of doing something a little different. Next week?
No, the week after. We're recording this on September 28th, and we're going to be recording the new Pokemon movie, but it doesn't come out until next Friday. It doesn't come out until
next Friday, which would be the
8th.
The 1st. No, the 8th. Yeah, you're right.
So
2 weeks we're going to be doing something a little different.
Yes. So we'll keep you up to date on that. But as of right now, next week's episode is called The Bloom is on Axu, or translated from Japanese, Out of Control Pandora Rescue Axu. So we will be doing that episode next week. So go ahead and give your goodbye, Doug.
Hot damn, we're getting an Axu episode. Goodbye, Doug.
I know. All right, and this is Wrestling Chris G telling all of you, tune in next week for another Black and White episode, everybody. Have a good night, everyone.